Hey, hello, and welcome to the Adafruit Show and Tell. I'm John Park, and this is the special Thursday edition of Show and Tell. We have now got two running every week. We've got the Wednesday night Show and Tell, and now this Thursday afternoon, early evening Show and Tell. So if you have some projects that you'd like to show off, some projects you're thinking about making, want to give some tips and tricks or ask some viewers for advice on your project, come on by and do it here. We have an excellent community in the Discord, Adafruit Discord. That's at adafru.it/discord, where you can join in the conversation. And in fact, there's a live broadcast channel where you'll find people discussing this very show. So we have a guest coming up here. It is our very own Scott Shawcroft, Tan Newt. At the present, he is also the only guest in our show and tell. So we may give him the floor. Hopefully he's brought a bunch of stuff to show. And I can also grab something to add to the show and tell for a moment. So why don't we have Scott kick it off? Hello, Scott.
What's up, John?
Hey.
I don't have to worry about being long-winded, I guess.
No, please, we encourage it, in fact.
So I thought, this is a project that you and I have talked about a lot. And since we have a little more time, I thought I'd cover it. So my goal with this is I want to put CircuitPython inside kind of a stock 80s era piano keyboard, right? And I want to be able to do two things. I want to be able to use it as a MIDI controller, which is really not that hard. But I also want to have it as a MIDI output. So you could actually like play MIDI off your computer into the device. And so what I've developed is I'm starting to develop things so that I can better prototype what I actually need. So what I've called this is my flip dip, and it fits in the dip socket there. And then the original chip is, and it's not going to focus for me, but the original chip is now in a socket on the flip dip. And then all of the pins are broken out using dual row pin headers. And I've just bought a ton of these jumpers so that I can just jumper the ones that I don't care about. And then you can see here that I've got kind of two leads coming off one set of signals that I wanted to like sneak into it and play around with and see what was happening.
So at the moment, are you going from the original chip that's plugged into your dip chip thing, and then the jumpers allow you to hijack one pin, go somewhere, and then come back in if you process that signal off board?
Exactly. So kind of what I figured out is, one, it doesn't fit flush right now because the chip itself is too tall. So I've experimented with some headers. You can kind of see that it's like not flat. Basically, I need to make these headers here taller to raise everything up a little bit. But what I found is that I want to breadboard everything. And so if you show my screen, I've been prototyping some really simple things to make breadboarding like 8 pins at a time easier. So this is with Oshpark. This first one is, we're pretty pin limited on feathers. So I've made just a simple breakout that will stand vertically along like 16 rows of a breakout board, but it's a serial to parallel out, so it's just a shift register. So I'm trying to build like building blocks that I can use on a breadboard that make it easier for me to prototype this stuff, because what I think I've determined is that there's 8 lines for the key matrix coming out, and there's 8 lines coming in or so. Mm-hmm. And so on the 8 lines coming out, I've got to pull them all up because they're not pulled anywhere. And then I'll be able to read which of the 8 lines it's scanning currently. And then on the way out, what I want to be able to do is I want to read the matrix and then optionally like echo back that key press or not. Mm-hmm. So I can basically choose, like, am I playing and only hearing it on my computer, or am I playing and getting it routed back into the device itself, or am I playing it like there's different options there whether you want to be able, where you want to hear things.
That's cool.
So the other two things that I've done is this is just a super simple 9-pin vertical. It's 8 SMD resistors and just a power line. So you can either pull eight lines down or up. I thought for that exact purpose. And then I also did just an octal buffer breakout. So this won't be vertical. It'll be across the middle of the breadboard, but you'll basically get, like one logic level in on one side and another logic level in out on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And there's two different types of chips. One of those chips I was looking at is open drain. So like the inputs to the old DIP chip need to be just like they're pulled up internally. And so I just want an open drain logic level converter there too. So I've ordered all these from Oshpark. I think I've got the parts here, but those should give me the building blocks to be able to prototype this idea of like Bluetoothifying an existing device.
That's very cool. I love it. Well, thank you for sharing that. We actually have a couple of other people who've joined
awesome.
the show
Great.
and tell. So
I vamped long enough, I guess.
I appreciate it so much, and also really dig where you're going with this project. So looking
it should be cool. And if anybody, I should say I'm happy to share my Oshpark projects. I don't do it by default. The files are on my GitHub, my Chickadee Tech GitHub as well. But yeah, if people want copies of these, just let me know, and I'm happy to open them up so you can purchase them. But I make no promises.
Untested.
Yeah, totally.
Good. Excellent. Thanks, Scott.
Awesome. Thanks, John.
All right. Next up, we've got Techniac, who appears to have both video and screen. So let's bring in the video.
I finally set up my video because I have multiple things to show, multiple little things to show. So, we've been doing our laser cut shields, which still won't show up on video for the last couple of weeks now over with my team at Hack the Pandemic. We're also now looking into our future because we started off with just like 2 or 3 guys taking orders in a basement, and now we're in 4 different states and having to manage a couple hundred orders a day. And so if you actually switch to my screen share, we partnered with this awesome group over at Tulip who develop software to do inventory management. And so we're now able to send out to all of our makers like, oh, I either have inventory that I'm going to drop off now, or I have, or I'm at a place who needs inventory, and I'm able to select and say what I need right in here. So if I need a 3D Verkston band or whatever, you can plug all that in, as well as full scalability. So if other people are producing PPE and need to access this stuff, the project is called PPE Logistics. You can just look it up. There's I think they have a couple different websites, as well as we're now looking at the filter canisters for normal half and full face respirators, and figuring out how they can integrate better into a PAPR system. So part of what we're looking at is using the Malamask developed by River City Labs filters in a canister this size, testing the efficiency and effectiveness of those, and then actually developing a relatively low-cost PAPRs unit that can be produced at home for about $150. That's what we're looking at right now, and we're super excited to be back in about 2 weeks with the findings from that. We're going to send it out for lab testing and everything.
And those are
so that's gonna be cool.
using, is that for part of using a CPAP machine as a respirator? Is that...
No, so we're actually creating our own unit from the ground up instead of trying to convert CPAPs and everything, because that's, again, more of an interim project, and we're eventually going to run out of CPAPs. But the fans we're using and normal just 5-volt lipos on a Teensy are just lying around, and you're able to put all the electronics together with stuff most people have in their homes.
Oh, great.
So something that will be able to be produced in scale very quickly, as opposed to most people don't have 50 or 60 CPAPs lying around to convert into PAPRs units.
That's
So
excellent. Good.
that's what we're up to. You can find out more information about that or request it over on our website, hackthepandemic.org.
Terrific.
So,
Can people go there also to find out about lending a hand as far as?
Yes, if you are anywhere in the country want to lend a hand, we accept mail-in. We currently need $35,000 in donation funds to get our injection molding up to speed. So yeah, help, donate, volunteer, receive items. It's all over there.
Hackthepandemic.com.
.org.
.org. Hackthepandemic.org. Okay, great. We'll put a link in the Discord as well.
Yes.
Great. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate the work that you guys are
thank
all
you very
doing.
much.
It's really fantastic. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
See you next time.
All right. Let's see. Next up, we've got Matt. So let's see what Matt has got to show and tell. Oh, Matt disappeared, or I got Todd. Sorry, Todd. Now we have a Matt. Hi, Matt.
Hey guys. So I'm a fan of making old things do new tricks.
Yay.
So I have a VT220 with a Raspberry Pi 3 and a serial hat. The serial hat has a receiver on it, so I have a remote controlled terminal. So I can do things like get the weather. Let's see. Never mind. So I have it set up to be a Bluetooth speaker with a music visualizer, but it just crashed. So that's what I get for doing a live demo.
It happens to most of us. That's pretty cool. So you're receiving IR on a little like breakout, and that's sending commands to over like GPIO to the Raspberry Pi.
I'm using it's called TTY Echo, and it's this C program that allows you to pipe commands through a TTY.
Oh, cool.
So I'm just using Python to call that to launch this stuff on the screen.
That's really cool. Do you have any info posted up online anywhere if people want to find out more?
Not currently, but it's on my to-do list.
Excellent. Good. Well, I dig it. I love your, is that a phosphor display as well that you have that running on?
Yep.
Love that. Cool. Thank you for stopping by and showing that, Matt. Really
Good
cool
to
project.
see you.
We'll see you next time.
Thanks.
All right. And we also have our good friend Todd Bot, the return of Todd Bot. Hey, Todd.
Hey, I have two quick things to show. First is if you are doing 3D printing stuff, it's very handy to be able to use isopropyl alcohol to clean down the build plate every time, both for making sure that the prints adhere, but also for sanitary reasons if you're building PPE. And so my two things that I love to use are these non-lint wipes called Kimtech or Kim wipes, and then to put isopropyl alcohol in one of these little pumps. And basically the way it works is when you push down on it, a little fountain of IPA appears just a little bit, and you can use the Kim wipe to go in, dab it, and then clean off your build plate.
Ooh,
and
that's really cool.
And it's basically sealed, so it's easy to get to. You don't have to worry about getting too much or too little. Yeah. It's not a spray, which some people like, but I don't like the sprays because it kind of gets everywhere. This has to be very targeted.
That's a cool tip. But
yeah, Kim wipes and IPA, one of these little pump bottles. I forget what they're called. The company that makes this is called Menda, M-E-N-D-A. You can find them on various places like DigiKey or Amazon or whatever. And yeah, I'll link to them in the chat also. And then so that's little tip one. Tip two is that if you're doing any development on little microcontrollers, what I love doing is putting them on a breadboard and then hot gluing that breadboard to a piece of scrap wood, and then also hot gluing a USB hub that has per port power switches. And this is there's a bunch of different ones out there. My favorite is one called Sabrent 4-port USB 3.0 hub. And so in this particular case, I've got maybe 10 of these. This particular one is I'm trying to make a itsy bitsy M0 act like a USB host. So this hooks up to say a MIDI keyboard, or it hooks up alternatively to the USB hub. But I've also got a serial USB to serial thing here, and that goes to the little serial UART on the chip, so I can actually watch it because you can't talk to it over USB when it's acting as a USB host. But yeah, so this is a really handy. Here's a MIDI jack because it's also going to act as a MIDI output, although that doesn't come out on the camera. It's a little exposed or underexposed. But yeah, so basically just hot glue all your peripherals to a board and use a USB switcher hub to like let you power and unpower them easily.
That's a great tip, yeah, because I know exactly what that looks like if you don't adhere it to something, which is this amorphous spaghetti thing that wants to fall apart all the time.
Yeah. So the wires can disconnect and you don't even know why. But if you kind of get everything down there, then it's good. So,
I think I saw right before this particular pandemic, I feel like Adafruit started carrying a half-size breadboard that had mounting holes, 2 mounting holes in it. To
oh, that's awesome.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty great. So maybe one day we'll.
Because most of these breadboards have like a little sticker backing on them,
Yeah.
and they don't work very well. So I usually have to like bolster it with some hot glue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool. I remember also in the early days of Arduino, there were a couple of manufacturers who made a little acrylic laser cut breadboard next to Arduino mounting kind of thingy.
Mm-hmm. Wow. But yeah, it's I have stacks of these. One for each project, basically.
Excellent. That's a really great tip. Thank you for showing that, and thanks for the wipes and alcohol dispenser thing. I'm gonna go and when you post the link, I'm gonna go get some because I've been printing. Actually, I'll do my little mini show and tell, which is we've been printing off a bunch of the mask ear savers, and the director of a medical program that we just dropped some off at said these are fantastic. He said, by the way, I'm huge and I have a very large head. Is there any chance I could get a extra large one? So I expanded one. They're normally like about 2 inches shorter. So this is the Gigantor version that'll help someone with a larger head to hook to.
That's awesome. Normally in Los Angeles, when you hear somebody say, I'm huge, they mean something totally different.
Cool. Thank you so much again for stopping by with those great tips, Todd, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers. Bye.
And thank you, everyone who came by to Show and Tell, and anyone watching and over on YouTube or Twitch or in our Discord chat. We appreciate you having you stop by. And for Adafruit Industries and this Show and Tell, I'm going to sign off. I'm John Park, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.